Coming up this hour on Joy News Prime, Peace Council finds itself in a desperate position, pleading with the NDC to reconsider its stance on refusing to sign a peace pact just months before the 2024 elections. As NDC holds firm its position, telling the Peace Council, quote, "We don't accept your plea to let bygones be bygones," unquote. Also coming up, Trades Union Congress scale up protest over pension funds as they demand full takeover of the board chairmanship position of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNET after President Akufo-Addo waded into the proposed controversial sale of the Labadi Beach Hotel and some other facilities.
Workers must be in charge, and that's what we are calling for. We should be in charge of the board. We should control the board. Not to have a board membership of about 12 and you have only 4 workers. No.
Minority demands that the EC stops charging 50 pesos for the USSD verification of voter registration details as first day of the exhibition of the register records low numbers all over the country.
Because Parliament cannot give you money to do this and you turn back and charge the people. That is not acceptable. That is not the legal structure in place.
We have details as they demand accountability from the EC on where exactly that amount of money is going. Plus, we take you around the country for an update on the exhibition process so far. Well, the National Democratic Congress holds firm its position not to sign a peace pact ahead of the elections, telling the Peace Council, quote, "We don't accept your plea to let bygones be bygones," unquote. The party chairman, Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, insists there is no need to commit to any document that is less than the law. The party took this stance at a meeting with the National Peace Council a while ago. More of that shortly. First, though, listen to a member of the National Peace Council, Malvi Ben Sali, pleading to the NDC to cooperate with them in ensuring peace prevails.
So, yes, it is the goodwill. I want a situation where each one of you here, individual or collectively, will be able to call me, mention me, or approach me and tell me that, Morvi, you gave us the commitment that this, and that. Why, therefore, this? That is the way forward. So I think, and that is what we have actually come out with, that give us the benefit of the doubt. And the brakes that you have applied, whether they are hydraulic or manual, you release them a little bit and give us the breathing space to be able to move a little bit. While you also watch and see what we do. Perchance you may come to agree with you that they are making an effort to do this and that and that. And that should be the approach of all of us.
But the NDC insists they will not sign to any pact unless the President, the IGP, the CJ and AG also signed a document as part of 6 conditions they have outlined to the Peace Council. Here is Party Chairman Johnson Asiedu-Nketia.
We will not be part of any such engagement unless we bring all the stakeholders together so that the judiciary will be represented, the criminal prosecution system will be represented, the political heads of the country should be represented, because crime is prosecuted on the authority of the state. So if we don't bring all those in, and we even suggested that let us bring Kofi Annan Training Institute, they also have some accumulated experience as far as peacekeeping and peace maintenance concerned. And so let us bring all this together, and then we will find out who is not playing their role, which is leading to this type of conduct during the sessions.
Well, my colleague Michael Papan actually was at this particular meeting for us, and he joins us with more via Zoom. Papa, grateful. How did this meeting end?
Brace, first of all, some bit of background that this is not a meeting that the NDC was hoping to happen today. What originally was scheduled between the NDC executives was a functional executive committee meeting earlier today. So the Peace Council surprised them, first of all, with this particular announcement. So therefore, to have a meeting slated for 2:30 in the afternoon, that dragged all the way to around, as of 5:30, that was when they were closing. It took quite some number of time. So there were already questions among the Functional Executive Committee members how long the meeting was going to last. In the tail end of this particular meeting between the Peace Council and then the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, well, you had a bit of back and forth between the leadership of the NDC and then that of the Peace Council in itself. The media was asked to walk out just when the meeting was about to end, but it was a heated atmosphere. I could tell you, you had some exchanges between the national chairman and some members of the NDC and then the Peace Council itself.
And how were these exchanges resolved?
Well, Brace, the exact resolution I cannot give you, but just to give you an idea as to what exactly the NDC is looking for. For the NDC, when they had the opportunity to respond to the reason, and you know that in the Ghanaian situation, when you go to visit somebody, they ask you what your mission is. So after the Peace Council had given, I told them about their mission, the chairman narrated exactly what, as an NDC, what the conditions for which they will sign a peace pact in the first place. They listed 6 of them. So getting to the end, when Peace Council had the opportunity to respond to those 6 conditions, the representative for the Peace Council said something to the effect that, as Peace Council, they do not have the mandate to force those conditions on the other parties, for example, the NPP. And that certainly infuriated the part of the NDC that, well, if you don't have the mandate, then certainly we can also give you our signature. The party's chairman, Asedu Nketia, has always insisted that if my signature will not change anything, then you don't need it. And on that basis, so what we understand is that the NDC eventually said, well, if you cannot give us anything to hold you accountable to, then certainly we'll still not be signing this document. But if you are able to allay our fears and honor these 6 conditions, then we may be able to give you our signature at the end of the day. And some of the conditions we understand is that, well, they want the likes of the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, the head of the Army, the IGP, and again the President himself to sign, append their signature to any document that will be a peace pact. Again, they're also asking the Electoral Commission to be investigated, particularly the IT department, to allay their fears, especially since news broke that some BVRs, some biometric verification machines, had gone missing. They say the suspect has been found, but they still don't have confidence in the system, and they want that system to be audited. And then finally, also, they want the outcome of the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election investigations be fully implemented. And then as an NDC, they can try and see if they'll possibly append their signature to any peace pact.
All right. So that's my colleague, Papan there. We've been joined via Zoom by the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Mustafa. Mustafa, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now, the Peace Council has indicated their willingness to work with you. Why wouldn't you also meet them halfway?
Pardon me, I'm on the field, and I would have to grant this interview. First of all, why do we seek to elevate any accord of peace beyond the relevance of ensuring that laws are functioning properly?
Okay.
We have the IGP, who is a major stakeholder of the 2024 elections, to ensure peace and
all right. We'll try and reconnect the line with Mustafa Agbande by way of a quick summary of the NDC's demands before signing the Peace Pact ahead of the elections in December. Let's share with you what exactly those demands are. One, they demand a full implementation of the investigations into the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence. Two, they also call for the initiation of prosecutions of all instances of violence during the last election. This includes the illegal printing of ballot papers. Immediate action is necessary to prevent a recurrence. 3, the case of the missing IT equipment from the EC's warehouse must be thoroughly investigated. We strongly believe these items are not missing. Where is the equipment, especially when suspects were apprehended? Our confidence, they say, in the EC has been severely shaken. Reassure us that nothing untoward is happening with our IT systems. 4, quote, we have raised concerns about the appointment to the EC, supported by evidence that these individuals are aligned with the MPP. Despite our objections, they remain at the EC. 5, we want the president to publicly declare that he will respect the outcome of the 2024 elections. 6, quote, we expect the IGP, Chief Justice, Attorney General, and National Security Coordinator to sign the Peace Pact before we endorse their document. So these are the demands of the NDC. Now, away from that, the Trades Union Congress is demanding for full takeover of board chairmanship of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, arguing that the state agency is failing to yield any positive dividend for pensioners and the working class of Ghana. President Akufo-Addo stoked controversy today when he argued that the Labour's decision to declare a nationwide strike over sale of the Labadi Beach Hotel and some 3 other facilities was unnecessary. For President Akufo-Addo, seen an improved performance culminating in dividends of 230 million cedis for the Ghanaian people is enough. But Labour disagrees. There's more in the following report.
Union Congress Ghana says it is not backing down from its demand for reforms in the administration of funds held in the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SNIT). At its 12th Quadrennial Delegates Conference in the Central Region, the union re-echoed concerns about the decision of SNIT to sell off its stake in Labadi Beach Hotel and 3 other facilities, prompting a sharp response from President Akufo-Addo, who called on organized labor to be measured in their commentary amidst the controversy.
I take note in particular of the improved performance of SNIT, which recently announced a surplus of 230 million cedis on its operations. This should be reassuring to organized labor and perhaps bring into sharper relief the unnecessary controversy that was recently generated by SNIT's efforts to offload non-performing assets in its hotel portfolio. It is my understanding that the transaction that was aborted represented the only occasion in recent history of SNIT that external investors sought to invest in SNIT's holdings. All of us need to be measured when it comes to making decisions and pronouncements that would affect the long-term interests of pensioners.
Executive Secretary of Clocksunk, Isaac Bampoado, tells Joy News that the interest of organized labor is to secure the collective goal of pensioners and the working class.
But we went to dialogue, it didn't solve it. So we had to use workers' power, and that's what we used. And it worked for us. So
that's to 230 million profits that SNIT is making. It looks like SNIT is doing well if we are looking at that figure.
Yeah, if I'm not privy to those figures, but if that is true and SNIT is doing well, that should reflect in the benefits that they give to pensioners. It should also reflect in the pockets of the pensioners. They must have good benefits so that they don't complain. But as you all know, pensioners are complaining. Workers' money. This is pension funds, workers' money, and that must reflect in the governance structure of SNIT. Workers must be in charge, and that's what we are calling for.
What exactly?
We should be in charge of the board. We should control the board. Not to have a board membership of about 12 and you have only 4 workers. No.
The Joseph Ajero Pencil Hall at the Pentecost Convention Center will also be the venue for TUC's executive elections, which will lead to the swearing-in of new leadership for the Labour Front.
At least navigate the union. We are expecting that the confidence of TUC will be brought back into the heart of workers.
But we expect that the new leadership going forward next year will push so that our salaries will be better, our conditions will be better.
Now, authorities at the renal unit of the Konfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital are being forced to sacrifice machine servicing time to cater for patients due to inadequate machinery. The 6 machines at the facility have become inadequate after visits to the facility have more than tripled following the rollout of the free dialysis program of the National Health Insurance Authority. Head of the renal unit, Dr. Pedete Ochre, fears the lifespan of the machines may reduce with the present rate of usage. Nana Yajima visited the facility and has come through with this report.
The temporary dialysis center in the emergency unit of the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital is filled with patients and family members. Already, all 6 dialysis machines here are occupied. Until May this year, the hospital had only 3 dialysis machines, catering for the few patients who could afford the dialysis treatment. Head of the renal unit, Dr. Perdita Oche, explains.
Before this, these machines were not adequate because Konfanoche seeks to serve the northern sector of Ghana. People coming from Sunyane, most of the northern regions, they come to Konfanoche for their treatment section.
The NHIA free dialysis program is offering free dialysis sessions for persons above 60 years and those below 18 years. Persons between the age brackets are offered 2 free sessions monthly. Until the intervention, about 20 of the 100 persons diagnosed of end-stage renal failure could afford dialysis. The number of patients reporting for the service has more than tripled after the intervention, stretching staff to work extra hours.
Government has put in intervention, so if my grandmother who is above 60 years come, I want to stay longer with no extra benefit to us as health workers. We want to stay longer. But how long can you keep on staying longer to absorb all these people? So sometimes you wait or you reschedule them for them to come. Even Sundays, now we work.
Presently, authorities are now scheduling patients for weekends, periods used for servicing of the machines. The unit is appealing to the government to replicate the support offered to Kolebu Teaching Hospital at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital.
This one, we have heard Kolebu, they are sister centers. We have heard that they have received 30 new machines. And Konfanoche, it's not like we don't have the place to absorb any machine that the government brings.
Unfortunately, the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital has only 6 dialysis machines taking care of the whole of the northern sector. Until government take up this capital expenditure, people in need of help from the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital will continue to reel under the present situation. For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima, Kumasi.
Indiscriminate sand-winning activities are fast degrading arable farmland in the Offenso municipality of the Ashanti region. Farmers in the area are counting their losses after miners besieged their farms with no prior notice to excavate sand. Emmanuel Bright quickly reports major staples like rice are under siege.
The Offenso enclave is known to be one of the food baskets in the Ashanti region, producing a variety of crops including rice, maize and cassava. But the production of these essential food items is threatened by activities of indiscriminate sand winning. Al-Hassan Akologo farms rice, cassava, garden eggs on this 2-acre land, but it has been destroyed by the sand winners. All the crops I grew up there have been destroyed. I grew garden eggs. While we were here, I rushed there to salvage the little I can. When you begin to complain, the local chiefs will overpower you. A closer view to the site revealed pillaging of the earth crust for sand, scooped into at least 10 tipper trucks to be transported to the city for various building constructions. When the news team approached the miners off record, they asserted to have authorization of the landowner to carry out the activity, but that Hassan is waiting to hear from the landowner after some of his farm produce has been destroyed. If they had even paid me before destroying the crops, I wouldn't be worried. So I went to the caretaker to find out from him, and he told me the landowner in Kumasi had sold it to them. I am waiting for the landowner too, but as I stand here, they haven't given me 1 cedi. The District Agriculture Directorate explains the activities of the sand winners as a bane to agriculture development in the area. Measures to halt the activities of the miners have proven futile. District Agric Director Kofi Owusu-Boahe explains the activities are depleting soil nutrients.
When you remove the topsoil, it affects the yield. The traditional assembly, they have to come together and put some measures. Maybe they can cite places for sand weighing, some places for farming activities. I think that will help.
While these sand winners exit the community, they pay a levy to the local authorities. But agriculture and soil integrity in this area are threatened by the activity until measures are adopted to control the sand winning. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
This is still Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Welcome back from the break. Now, the minority in Parliament say it is improper for the Electoral Commission to charge a fee for voters to verify their registration details via a USSD code. The Electoral Commission began the nationwide exhibition of the voters' register at all polling stations, but voters have been given an option to verify the details via code at a fee of 50 pesos. But member of the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamakpo, says the charge is improper and outside the law. He wants the EC to end the charges immediately.
You don't have to accept things like this because you cost your program. The EC is mandated under law to cost its activities and bring same to Parliament for approval. They have just done that. So we are asking for accountability.
That they should come and account for it, or they should stop the charge.
If they want to proceed with it, then they have to come and account for it. Because Parliament cannot give you money to do this and you turn back and charge the people. I am saying that doing this amounts to charging money before persons are permitted to look at their names in the register. That is not acceptable. That is not the legal structure in place.
But what exactly is this USSD about and how does it work? My colleague Jacqueline Ansumaya has a demonstration.
First thing here is you dial *711*51#. Then you press the call. And you're waiting, and it says here that welcome to the mobile voter register exhibition service. Enter your 10-digit voter ID number. So I've already copied it and I'm just pasting it here. And it says here, hello Yeboah, you'll be charged 0.50 pesos to receive your voter verification details. So then I press 1 to confirm. Then wait, it says here, after payment confirmation, your voter ID details will be sent via SMS. Okay, and that was really fast. And I put in my Momo details. So now I'm waiting for the deduction message, which I still haven't gotten. It's now 10:25 a.m. I'm waiting on the message. 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, I still haven't even received a message of the deduction or even a message from the EC to make sure that my details in there are accurate.
Well, Kenneth Jesse visited some exhibition centers in the Greater Accra region, and at the time, just a handful of people had come to check if their details were captured well.
Well, this has been the scene at the various EC exhibition centers that we visited. Barely no voter inside to check whether their details are correct. We spoke to some of the EC officials, and this is what they said.
Oh, just only 2 people.
2? Since what time?
Yeah, around 7. One came early in the morning, 7:20, and then the other one came almost 8 o'clock. It was 7:50 something. It's always okay. Previous years, the people, they don't care because they think their names are already in the register, so they don't have to come and waste their time here. So just few people will come, and then that's happened every year.
The people that came here today, did they have any issues with any of their details?
Oh no, please. Everything was intact. Yeah, everything was okay. But one man and then one woman, but the woman didn't bring card. But once she mentioned the surname, we were able to check.
As of now, we have about 10 people, since we started.
10, all from the same center, or it's spread across?
Spread across.
Okay.
Since today being the first day, it's been a bit of a slow start, but we're hoping to pick up.
Now, the 10 people that came, did they have any issues with any of their details?
No problem. Yeah, looking at the time, we have enough room, so we are hoping to get more people by the end of the day.
Well, with the registration exercise lasting for a period of 8 days, it is the hope that as the day goes by, more people will come and check if their details are well captured into EC's database before we head to election 2024. From the Roman Rage Exhibition Center, Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Well, some polling centers in the Ashanti region recorded as low as 5 people out of the hundreds of names listed in the voter album. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku monitoring the situation in the Ashanti region for us.
Electoral officers wait for prospective voters to cross-check their details from the voter album. But the exercise has been slow, with only a few people trooping to the centers to confirm their details. At almost midday, most of the centers visited recorded as low as 1 individual turning up.
Only 1 person has come around. I don't know why they aren't coming.
It has not been encouraging at all. So far, we have 4 persons, yes, since morning.
And then when did you come here?
7 o'clock a.m.
Do you have any idea as to why they are not coming?
Be that they didn't get the information very well. We can also say that the weather too can be a cause.
The AC officials observe a trend of the aged visiting the center to confirm their details. At the Opokuwari polling center, the majority of the 20 persons who had confirmed their details were older people. Only those above 35 are trooping here. The new entrants who are around 20s aren't coming. They are the ones who I think should be coming here, but they are not coming. The exercise has generally been smooth across the centers visited. I couldn't bring my card, but I have been able to confirm my details.
I
came to check for a colleague of mine who isn't around, but I was able to confirm his details for him. Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Francis Oseinsia, says despite the first day not recording any challenges, the Commission is ready to address concerns pertaining to the exercise.
I've not received any report from any of the districts with regard to the exercise. No, I've not received any adverse reports. We believe that everything is on course. To make sure that we have a credible register where those who are there supposed to be there, and if we think that somebody is not supposed to be there, we will also take him or her out.
So in the Ashanti region, it has been a long day of waiting by most of these electoral officials. They are anticipating that at the end of the exercise, majority of the numbers would have come around to confirm whether their details are rightly captured in the voter album. From here in Santasi in the Ashanti region, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Away from that, the Ghana Cocoa Board has justified its rising cost of operations despite declining cocoa production in the past few years. Cocoa Board came under public criticisms after the minority questioning a 3.4 billion cedis allocation for administrative expenses in 2024. Chief Executive Officer Joseph Boahin-Edu has been given some clarity on the matter in an interaction with journalists after appearing before the Public Account Committee in Parliament. My colleague James Aveji has more in the following report.
A number of persons have raised concerns over the rising cost of operations at Cocoa Board. In fact, they have allocated some 3.4 billion Ghana cedis to spend as Cocoa Board. The minority have raised issues regarding that in recent times. But when the Chief Executive Officer, Joseph Boahin-Edu, appeared before Public Account Committee and interacted with the media afterwards, he explains that the rising administrative cost is because Cocoa Board is actually financing the cocoa rehabilitation project currently ongoing.
The government, together with Cocoa Board, then decided to make major intervention, which we call the rehabilitation program. And once we have such a program, you have to spend. And if you are spending, definitely your administrative costs will go up. So a lot of that money is going into payment of the workers who are working in the field.
Joseph Wahinedu also revealed to the Public Account Committee that 6 out of the 14 ongoing road projects initiated some 9 years ago have been cancelled due to financial challenges facing Cocoa Board.
Chairman, 6, according to table 6 of the road projects have been terminated, and the rest are being repackaged for completion.
The Ghana Education Service also appeared before the Public Account Committee, where a principal superintendent from Gumwa West have been dragged before the committee to confess to some overpayment issues that arose.
When I got the money, I thought it was my money until the auditors came in.
Like we say in local settings, you have chopped the money. Mr. Sampson.
Yes, please.
You've chopped the money.
Yes, boss.
I see.
And I promise that I am having an investment, which will end ending of this month. So if the money comes, I'll try if I can pay everything off, or if I'll pay part of it.
The committee has finished with its engagement with the ministry, department, and agencies here in Accra, and so has adjourned in Accra, but will continue with its regional engagements in the northern regions from Monday. From Parliament here in Accra, my name is James Savage, reporting for Joy News.
Now, a 45-year-old did not give anything to chance when he lost his vision about 8 years ago to glaucoma, a development which robbed him of his livelihood. To make ends meet, Godwin Kwashi abandoned his kente trade in Accra and settled in the Afajato South District community of Leklibi, Agbesia, to engage in farming. It has been a struggle to survive his 3-member family on proceeds from the sales of his harvest. Fred Kwame Asare visited Leklibi, Agbesia, and filed the following report.
Leklibi, Agbesia lies on the southeastern side of the Volta region's Afajato South District. Among the over 500 inhabitants here resides Philip, who is visually impaired. He was compelled to abandon his trade and settled here to earn a living through farming. I was diagnosed with glaucoma in 2015 at an eye clinic in Adenta. After some time, I noticed I was losing my vision, so I had to move to Vakbo to stay with my mother and later to Agbesia due to a lack of food and land for farming. He cultivates various food crops on small scales, sells a portion of his harvest, and stores the rest for use at home. Godwin prays for financial support to expand his farm to maximize profit and enhance his livelihood. I need spraying machines, agrochemicals, Wellington boots, and fertilizer. These items would help me increase yield. The other day, I stepped on something which coiled around my leg. It was my wife who informed me that it was a snake after I shook it off. If I were to wear a Wellington boot, I would not be scared. While on the farm, Mary, Godwin's wife, informed me that she had corn on the fire which she would sell to finance the evening meal. Back home was their son, who has speech and hearing impairment. He couldn't stay at the special school he was enrolled in, hence returning home a few weeks ago. He sometimes accompanies and helps the mother to sell maize among others to support the family. I accepted to marry him when he proposed to me. I do all his heart desires. I sell agbalikaklu, maize, and other farm produce to support him. I need support to sell frozen fruits or buy cassava for my trade. The Blind Union Association here in the Afajato South District eulogized the hard work of Godwin. The association believes a little push in his farm ventures would enable him to better take care of his family.
And he had been worrying me about support for even to go into mushroom production, rearing of animal like chicken and those things.
There are many others in the Afajato South District who are not being held back by their conditions. They are bracing the odds, just like Godwin, to make ends meet. Fred Kwame Asare, Joy News, Leklebi, Agbesia.
improving accessibility, enhancing social inclusion, and promoting equal opportunities for persons living with disabilities. That is the hope of many individuals with disabilities who shared their experiences with us during our just turned 18 engagement at the University of Ghana. Among their hopes, one specific request stood out: the call for free tertiary education for persons living with disabilities. Emmanuel Noviame is proof that support is needed. He is visually impaired and he works as a fisherman while on vacation to support his education. This is a story about the urgent need for a more robust support system for students with disabilities.
I am the overall boss of the
Imagine a visually impaired student who relies on fishing for his upkeep. This is the reality of Emmanuel Noviama.
Without work, he cannot feed.
A final year senior high student of Adidome Senior High School.
Oh, just to get something.
Emmanuel was first introduced to the news team by his friend, Foster Kudese, who is also visually impaired, on the Just Turned 18 show. Foster said, without further support, his friend's dream of attending university might remain just that, a dream.
Now, I have a friend too in Adidome Senior High School who is a visually impaired. You have to go for fishing before he can come to school. If not, he, for instance, cannot attend university.
Emmanuel's story is a reminder of the barriers that exist for students with disabilities. The two major political parties promised to introduce a scholarship for tertiary students with disabilities. For now, the promise for a free tertiary education scholarship for persons with disabilities will remain a proposal. But for students like Emmanuel, it could be the key to unlocking a brighter future. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
Oh, this Charlie should tell others that there is more blessing in work than stealing.
Well, such a wonderful story there. Now, the Ghana Non-Communicable Disease Alliance is urging the government to uncap the National Health Insurance Levy to increase funding for healthcare services for individuals living with non-communicable diseases in Ghana. A recent report by the NCD Alliance highlights a significant funding shortfall, revealing that the NHIS is inadequate in meeting the needs of these patients who often have to rely on family and friends for essential medications. There is more in the following report.
Non-communicable diseases, NCDs, are a leading cause of high mortality and morbidity. In Ghana, NCDs are responsible for approximately 43% of deaths, underscoring the urgent need to address the financial challenges faced by individuals battling these conditions. The report reveals a substantial funding gap, with the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, unable to fully cover the needs of NCD patients. Labram Musa, National Coordinator of the NCD Alliance, believes that removing the cap on NHIL will provide the necessary funds for those living with NCDs.
We are also recommending the uncapping of the National Health Insurance, the 2.5% that me and you will pay. Everybody pays. The poor, everybody pays. Whenever you buy anything in the market, you pay 2.5% to the National Health Insurance. Unfortunately for us as a country, we have legislated it to the extent that a huge sum is capped for other developmental issue. What we are calling on government should prioritize health. Government should uncap the National Health Insurance so that we have a lot of money going to the National Health Insurance to be able to reduce the disease burden. As you know, every now and then we have people complaining no bed syndrome, dialysis problems. People go to the hospital, they are not able to receive the care they need. The law that establishes National Health Insurance is supposed to be for the health of the people. But why should government cap the health of the people?
He also advocates for the excise tax on the importation of unhealthy commodities, including tobacco products, alcohol, and sugary beverages.
Government to earmark the funding that they are getting from the excise taxes, because currently we have advocated for government to increase taxes on unhealthy commodities. Yes, government have listened in the 2023 budget. So we have seen some revenue rise from excise taxes. What we are calling on government is that these taxes are actually from commodities that are creating many of the non-communicable diseases. So it is fair that government dedicate that money, at least a portion of it, to go to the health sector to support non-communicable disease, because people are really, really suffering from abject poverty and are unable to, to care for themselves when they go to the hospitals.
Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bekwin, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, stated that the service will focus more on preventive measures to reduce the incidence of NCD.
We will continue or expand our education on prevention of NCDs. I think that's the main issue, because if you have very little NCDs, then the financial burden is really minimal. So that's one. Also, the issue about trying to see whether we can minimize the waiting times at our health facilities, particularly for persons who are aged. I mean, you don't need to stay so long a time when the person is that old.
Now, in commemoration of the 2024 World Mosquito Day, the Ghana Education Service, in collaboration with the Globe Project, has launched a student engagement program aimed at empowering students with the knowledge and skills to combat mosquito-borne diseases. The science-based initiative seeks to provide students with hands-on training on how to identify and collect data on various mosquito species, while also equipping them with strategies to help control malaria, dengue fever, and other mosquito-borne illnesses that pose serious public health risks to citizens.
Malaria remains a major cause of illness and death in many parts of Ghana. The Student Engagement Initiative is part of Ghana's larger effort to combat mosquito-borne diseases affecting millions worldwide. Through the Globe Project partnership, students from schools across the country will engage in field work to monitor and study mosquito populations. They will be trained to use advanced scientific tools to identify mosquito species and map breeding grounds in both rural and urban areas. Speaking at the launch, the Greater Accra Coordinator for STEM Education at the Ghana Education Service and the Country Coordinator for the Globe Project, Betty Boa Adom, highlighted the importance of involving young people in scientific research and public health efforts.
So the Globe Project is a Student International Environmental Science Project. And so all across the globe, we have students who have come together to work on specific projects. And it's one of the NASA flagship projects, the US NASA, one of their flagship projects. The main reason why this project was given is that they want to assist students, basically assist students with some infrastructure and then curriculum to help them understand their environment, and then take data so that they can make meaning out of the data. And
well, that's Esther Johnny's Prime. We'll take a break here. We'll bring you showbiz right after. To stay. All right, so let's do showbiz now, and the queen of the business, Becky Bex, is here in all her glory. Hi, Becky, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I know that you were at the NPP manifesto.
Yes.
And you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
This is the reason why Joy News is the election headquarters. I know that the NDC is also planning a launch.
It's coming up this
follow
weekend.
That. One of the things that stood out when it comes to the show business is the fact that they have plans to give creatives special travel privileges. So in their manifesto, which was launched on August 18, 2024 at the Ghana Secondary Technical School in Takoradi, the NPP highlights the need to give people in the culture and creative industry travel protocol service. It says, quote, they will establish a travel protocol service for the creative community to enable artists, performers, and other creatives honor international performances and shows. The manifesto also reiterates some of the promises made earlier by their presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, during his lecture at the University of Professional Service, Accra, on February 7, 2024. They have promised to, quote, use tax incentive, including a flat tax to incentivize private sector investment in sports, tourism, and creative arts facilities, and to implement an e-visa policy for all international visitors to Ghana to make visa acquisition fast and convenient for visitors. So let's move away from that and talk about Episode. Episode gave us a teaser of a song that he has coming up. And it's so controversial because the title of the song is called Nyash.
What?
You heard me right. So I reached out to Episode to find out exactly what he meant by this particular record, and here is what he has to say. You heard it. This is a song actually of an upcoming album called the Soul Album, and we're eagerly expecting that.
And he calls it Nyash.
Why are you? Okay. Yeah, you like it?
No, I'm excited by the title of the song.
Everybody's excited, especially the men. I'm not too sure.
But there's a message in there.
Oh yes, a big message.
Nyash go kill a brother, so watch it.
That's not the message, actually.
Oh, why?
This is actually for the women.
Oh.
It has nothing to do with the men.
No, but he's warning men that look, if you...
Did you listen to what he said?
I did. So,
Grace, you didn't listen.
Should I rephrase? And anyway, go ahead.
You should go back to it. But I mean, let's move away from that. Let's talk about MP for Nigo Pram because he's advocating for the construction of a world-class venue to host events. Speaking to my colleague Nicholas Ekoyamwa at the Kingdom World Tour event on the back of last-minute changes of venue from the ICGC Temple in Teshi to the First Love Church around UPSA. For the event, he says the state must build a national conference center. Adding to this call, Alan Tremonti, leader of the Movement for Change, is also advocating more international events to establish the country as a mecca for people with African descent.
The state just needs to invest money in building our own world-class venue where we can have such programs. I mean, we need to have a world-class conference center that can sit 20,000 people and we can fill them up. This is a 10,000-seat auditorium has been filled. We've seen Kirk Franklin in Perez Chapel sit 16,000 people. I mean, and we constantly have these halls getting filled up. We need to have a national cathedral, a national conference center that can host all of this.
I mean, I've always felt that Ghana has to become a hub and a center for, not just for entertainment in by itself, but also as a mecca for people of African descent all over the world. And shows of this nature would become like a catalyst.
On that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News Prime. My name is Becky. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. And also, please brush your teeth with Pepsodent this evening. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, use Pepsodent because with Pepsodent, every smile matters. Grace?
Oh, you've done everything. I'm just admiring how you do.